When I was in high school and middle school and elementary school, it felt like I was always in trouble, mostly because I was never on task, and consequently, I was always in trouble. While I wasn't disruptive or boisterous, I was so focused on creating comics, drawing, and writing that paying attention kind of fell on the back burner for me. And all of that changed in seventh grade. I had this class where this teacher not only saw the artistic benefit of my comic books, but she also saw the academic benefit of drawing comics. And she proceeded to use graphic novels in our course curriculum. And I never forgot that. To this day, student creative interests are a major aspect of my pedagogy. I believe that ELA itself is an art form, a means of communicating through symbols, much like music or visual art. If we look at Bloom's taxonomy, creation is at the pinnacle. And at a high school level, students should be demonstrating command of the English language. Higher order thinking activities, those that involve creation, evaluation, and analysis, are a brilliant means of getting students to think of things on a deeper level, not just a specific novel we're working on, but also a broader context. I like using creative projects as a means of assessment due to the differentiation opportunity that it presents us with. So, for example, in my choice board that I have in the center here, there are three different opportunities that students have to write short stories. But if I had a classroom and five of those students had dysgraphia or dyscalculia or some other learning disability that affects their reading and writing, I would not use this specific choice board. I would alter it in some way to make it more visual art or musically oriented as a means of making this assessment accessible to certain students. So on the left hand side here, we have an example of using visual art in an ELA context. And we're asking students to use their knowledge of ELA and build upon it by expressing themselves and taking what we've learned and making it their own. The assessment process for grading creative projects is pretty standard, with the exception of the use of rubrics. Rubrics might be different from teacher to teacher. I prefer to keep them very objective to prevent grading bias. But yes, student work is graded individually, then the teacher crunches the numbers, separates the data, and then adjusts their instruction accordingly. It has been proven that appealing to student interests increases their engagement. I believe that students are people and that they deserve to be seen in the classroom. In this little quote here, I have a quote from Horton Hears the Who: "A person's a person, no matter how small." Appealing to student creativity reminds us that they're humans, that they're people with their individual experiences that they come into the classroom with. My name is Gabriella Coleman, and this is my spectacular but brief take on creative projects in the classroom.